teach us how to do better with it.
Yeah.
Cool?
Yeah.
Alright, let's get started. Alright, the lesson today is called History Repeating, the Roaring Twenties. Alright, you see that? It's an old car, huh? The lady sitting on top. Alright, the period from 1920 to 1929 is commonly known as the Roaring Twenties in the United States. Now there's a new Roaring Twenties on the horizon, the 2020s. With this centennial upon us, people are starting to draw connections between the two decades. D-E-C-A-D-E-S. Okay, let's start with some spell words.
Yeah.
Let's spell. We'll start with the three words, okay?
Yeah.
Let's start with spelling year. Can you back up just a little bit? Alright, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. Y. E. And A. R. Nice job. Now spell people. P and E and O and P and O and P. Good job.
Yeah.
And spell
Ugh.
horizon. H and O and R and I and Z and O and N. Perfect. Horizon. Alright, first question. What did it say the 1920s were also known as?
I don't know.
You ready?
Yeah.
Go ahead. R and O. Oops. O and. Go ahead. A and R and I and N and G. Good job. Roaring 20s. Number 2. How many years are in a decade? 1 and 0. Good job.
10.
Alright. Let's put these 3 words away. You're too good for them.
Yeah.
But it's good for a warm-up, right?
Yeah.
That's really, you did awesome with this book.
Yeah.
Alright, possible similarities between the two decades include technological innovation, women's suffrage, S-U-F-F-R-A-G-E, or the right of women to vote, popularization of sports, prohibition, P-R-O-H-I-B-I-T-I-O-N, or prevention by law of the manufacture and sale of alcohol, especially in the U.S. between 1920 and 1933. Nativism, N-A-T-I-V-I-S-I-M, or the policy of protecting the interests of native-born or established inhabitants against those of immigrants. Urban-rural divide, science versus fundamentalism, F-U-N-D-A-M-E-N-T-A-L-I-S-M, or religious movement to reassert strict adherence to the Bible, and stock market highs. Alright, first question. Women's suffrage refers to a woman's right to what?
I don't know.
You got this, dude. Go ahead. No. V, and O, and T, and E. Good job. A woman's right to vote. Alright, spell nativism. N, and A, and T, and I, and E, and I, and E, and jump, S, and up. Next one, M. Good job, nativism. Prohibition was the prevention by law of the manufacture and sale of what?
Yeah.
You got this, dude. A, and L, and C, and O, and H, and jump up, O, and L. Good job.
Are we done?
Dude, we just started.
Yeah. Hey. We just started.
Okay, it's been 100 years, 100, since the 1920s made an unprecedented mark in history with both dramatic social and political change. Flappers, Flappers, a young woman with bobbed hair and short skirts who drank, smoked, and said unladylike things. Mobsters and speakeasies, SPEAKEASIES, an illegal liquor store or nightclub, were all the rage and prohibition was in full effect. Nightclubs were filled with jazz music from icons like Duke Ellington and Louis Armstrong. Life moved fast as a new sense of prosperity and freedom emerged at the end of World War I. One example of moving was the Ford Model T. It was mass produced on an assembly line, making it very affordable. The Model T cost $260. $260 in 1924. 1924. This opened transportation to the middle class. All right. Would flappers be an example of political or a social change? Hold on a minute, buddy. Oh, let's do this one. A speakeasy was an illegal liquor store or what?
I don't know.
Go ahead. Jump up. Next door. N, and I, and jump down. G, and H, and T, and night. C, and L, and U, and B. Good job. Nightclub. How many years since the 1920s made a mark in history?
100.
Good job, dude.
100.
100 years. And the Model T cost how much in 1924?
I don't know.
You got this. Next door.
2.
6, 0.
260.
Yep, $260. That's not very much money for a car. Okay. I don't like how this lesson is set up. The colors are not right. Okay. Cars also gave people the freedom to go where they pleased and do what they wanted. What many young people wanted to do was dance. D-A-N-C. The Charleston, the cakewalk, the back bottom, and the flea hop.
Hey.
Do you know, I used to have a teacher that would dance and do the Charleston.
Crazy.
It was crazy. His name was Mr. Ward. The 1920s were a period of time where America seemed to dance their problems away. They were tired of being involved in outside affairs, especially following the devastation caused by World War I. WW1. Hence the increase in nativism. Alright, so what did it say people like to do for fun?
I don't know.
You got this, dude. Go for it. Next word. D. And A. And N. And C. And E. Good job. Dance. D. And C. What event had just ended prior to the beginning of the Roaring Twenties?
I don't know.
Next word. W. W. World War
II.
One. There you
One.
go. I kind of didn't say that right, huh?
Yeah.
Look, it's abbreviated. There we go. World War One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couple more.
Alright, so 1920s was one of the most prosperous times in U.S. history. The nation's total wealth more than doubled between 1920 and 1929. Thanks to the booming economy, there was an extravagant extravagant spending on new machines like radios, washing machines, and vacuum cleaner. For the first time, more Americans lived in cities than on farms. There was a divide in between these two cultures in science versus religion, spending versus saving, working versus leisure, and speakeasies versus prohibition.
Yeah. Hey.
It was the first time in history that the population in blank was larger than in country size.
I don't know.
You got it. Go ahead. C and I and T and I E and S. Nice job.
City.
That's right. Cities. People living in the cities were more likely to visit a what and spend money.
I don't know.
S and D and E and A and next door K and speak E and A and jump up S and Y. Speak easy.
Yeah.
Okay. The 2020s are shaping up to be a time of technological innovation, social rights, stock market increases, as well as political incivility, middle-class financial squeeze, and pollution. See that? Moms demand protect kids, not guns. Once again, Americans are tired from the seemingly never-ending conflict in the Middle East. They want to focus on nation at hand. This led to Donald Trump's campaign slogans of America First and Make America Great Again. Many would say this led to an increase in xenophobia, an irrational fear of foreigners or of anything foreign. This parallels the nativism in the 1920s. Plus, both decades followed a period of time which involved war.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Donald Trump's campaign slogans were America First and Make America what again?
I don't know.
G and down R and E and look A and T. Good job. Great.
Yeah.
Where has the U.S. been involved? This is not a good lesson, dude. Who was Donald Trump?
I don't know.
The what? P and you had it R and E and S and I and D and and jump down next door. N and T. Good job,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Are we done?
We're getting there. Okay, there is the rise of new social movements like protesting climate change, the Me Too movement, and LGBTQ rights. So this is reminiscent of the women's suffrage. On the flip side, more conservative and religious ideologies are also on the rise with anti-immigration sentiments. SEN. SENTIMENTS.
Oh.
In maintaining gun rights for individuals, which sounds similar to the fundamentalism, FUNDAMENTALISM, of the 1920s. Americans seem to be increasingly polarized in their views, kind of like the city folk and farmers in the 1920s. Economic trends and technological leaps are combining to set up the 2020s as the greatest decade in human history. Okay, current conservative ideology is comparative to what of the 1920s?
I don't know.
You got this, G. All the way over. F and next door. U and N and next door. D and A and L and you got it. Up one. M and E and N and T and I and
Yeah.
S and M. Amazing, good job. Fundamentalism.
Are we done?
Almost.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, economic trends and technological leaps are combining to set the 2020s up as the greatest decade in human what?
I don't know.
H and you had it up I and you gotta open your eyes. S and T and O and R and Y. Good job. Are you
Done.
guys tired?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, we have just a little bit more left. Do you want to take a quick break?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you coming back? Are you so sleepy?
Yeah.
Kind of another gloomy day, huh?
Yeah.
Alright. We're getting there. Alright, after all, 1% of Americans 1% owned stocks in the 1920s, so few people actually made money in the stock market. The new Roaring Twenties should be more prosperous than the first one for more people. This is an area of debate given the fact that the income, INCOME, inequality, INEQUALITY,
Yeah.
thank you. The extent to which income is distributed in an uneven manner among the American population. Gap in the U.S. is the largest it has been in 50 years. 50. Even though we have been in a long period of economic expansion, expansion, with low unemployment, unemployment.
Yeah.
Okay. What percent of the population owned corporate stocks in the 1920s?
Yeah. 50.
Up.
Nope.
1%.
1%.
That's right. When income is unevenly distributed among Americans, this is called what?
I don't know.
You got this, dude. Go ahead. I and N and C and O and M. Oops. M and E. Income. Jump down. And I and N and E and. Ready? Settle it. All right. Income. I-N-E, jump up, Q, and U, and A, and L, and I, and T, and Y. Income inequality.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. The income inequality gap in the U.S. is the largest it has been in how many years? 5 and 0.
50.
50 years, that's right. Okay. Lastly, technology is going to explode, boosting our economy. Think about self-driving cars and packages delivered by drones. Do you remember what a drone is?
Yeah.
It flies in the air. What if it took our packages and came and delivered them instead of people? That'd be crazy, huh? Again, this likens back to the new technologies of the original Roaring Twenties, like radios. The Roaring Twenties will always be remembered for its unique aesthetic. A-E-S-T-H-E-T-I-C. You're making me yawn when you yawn. Concerned with beauty or the appreciation of beauty, cultural changes, and technological developments. But the upcoming 20s have many exciting developments to keep all of us on edge of our seats with anticipation. Artificial intelligence and self-driving cars might sound scary for some, but for those who are ready to enter the future, the possibilities are endless. Cheers to 2020 being a pivotal year, just as 1920 was 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Alright. That's it for this lesson.
Are we done?
We're done with this lesson, yeah.
Yeah.
That was not the best lesson, huh?